My son Michael got me this cool old ice cream scoop for Christmas. It reminds me of a similar thing we had when I was a kid, but that one had a plastic handle, and this one looks more like a solid and classy version. I love trying to figure out the history behind things like this. I've made other films tracing interesting discoveries of old things we've come across. It's great when there's a good place to start my search for the story. This Gilchrist brand helped me find this two-page ad showing this scoop. As I read the ad copy, I could tell that they aren't selling this for home use. It's clearly written to appeal to someone serving lots of ice cream, a restaurant or an ice cream parlor. How quickly you can serve the ice cream, how good it looks to the customer. It even says the customer will perceive a fuller portion. To get more info, I went to the U.S. Patent Office website to search for Gilchrist. I was surprised to find about 10 patents. Raymond B. Gilchrist invented several things that you'd find in ice cream parlors or bars or restaurants. There were drink mixers, glass holders, juice squeezers, ice cream scoops, and corkscrews and ice chippers. I found the patent that goes with my scoop and then saw the patent for the lemon squeezer. We already had one of those in our kitchen. And I decided I needed one of the cone-shaped scoops for our cool old things collection. One of Gilchrist's popular ice cream scoops shows up in one of the most watched movies of all time.
Wish I had $1,000,000. Hot dog! It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey. Made up your mind yet?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say, Brainless, don't you know where coconuts come from? Look at here. From Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea.
A new magazine. I never saw it before.
Of course you never. Only us explorers can get it. I've been nominated for membership in the National Geographic Society. I'm going out exploring someday. You watch. And I'm going to have a couple of harems and maybe 3 or 4 wives. Wait and see.
I found very little online about the Gilchrist Company or Raymond B. Gilchrist, except for the patents and vintage Gilchrist products on eBay and other places. As I was reading about his products, I learned some history of ice cream parlors and how they relate to the history of mechanical refrigeration and even the history of alcohol prohibition. There used to be quite an industry for keeping things cool. People would go to lakes or rivers in the cold of winter, cut large blocks of ice and store them, insulated as well as they could, so that in warmer weather the blocks of ice could be the means of keeping food chilled. When refrigeration was introduced, it was only to businesses, and people still used ice boxes at home. Before mechanical refrigeration, keeping any quantity of ice cream cold was almost impossible. They got more and more popular as people now had an attractive alternative to bars and taverns for socializing. And when liquor was prohibited in 1920, ice cream parlors really took off as a place for folks to gather. Some of the major breweries actually shifted to making ice cream products during that time. Ice cream parlors lost their huge wave of popularity because of a number of factors. Prohibition ended in 1933, so people had more options for socializing. They had been popular for a long time, and public interest rarely stays the same forever and fades over time. Another factor is the introduction of mechanical refrigeration into the home. Mary showed me a couple of her vintage books that are all about the luxury of having a refrigerator in your very own home. The first refrigerators were extremely expensive, around $10,000 in today's money for an appliance that most of us today would find inadequate. One of the books mentions the price of the little book. That would be around $40 today. At first I thought, wow, they were selling this book for $40? Then I remembered that this is the real world and that salesperson bullshit was invented before refrigerators were invented. I'm sure the price was printed in the book to make it feel more important when the smooth-talking GE salesman gave this book to his wealthy prospect. As more people could make and store ice cream at home, that surely cut down some visits to the local ice cream parlor. Another thing I uncovered Did you ever wonder why the ice cream in a dish was called a sundae? Well, one of the most popular ice cream parlor treats was the ice cream soda made with carbonated water. In many towns back then, carbonated water was prohibited on Sundays because some sort of religious objections to frivolity. The local drugstores often had soda fountains and ice cream, and they were allowed to be open on Sunday because they filled medical prescriptions. Some shrewd druggists encouraged people to go ahead and get the ice cream without the soda water, so the ice cream in a dish with the syrup and other goodies was called a sundae. And later they changed the spelling. We had some people over for a meal, and dessert had to be ice cream with our new scoops.
The action here.
You can make like an oddly satisfying video about it.
It was fun to try these things out and learn a little bit about the history of the ice cream parlors.